Well, hello, class. Happy Valentine's Week. I am slowly getting my voice back and just wanted to go over some highlights from this week's chapter. I think it's a really important one. It's on security, and this is something that you hear about in the news all the time. And we even have a program here on cybersecurity at MCC. And as you go through this book, it's easy to kind of identify um, with the issues from your standpoint as maybe a consumer, some of the problems with the e-commerce security, but also start thinking about it as in terms of being in the shoes of the person who's in charge of the business and trying to protect your customers. So lots of information in this chapter. The first part, I think it's almost kind of scary how many examples it gives you, but lots of examples of different ways that your systems can become compromised through different things like, phishing attacks and Trojan horses and spyware and all of these kind of things. A lot of times, maybe you get an email that tries to get you to click on some mysterious link or download something that um, aren't familiar with, and a lot of times those open people up to being attacked. And in fact, I'll include a little YouTube clip optionally for you to view, kind of showing you how the hackers do that. And probably all of you, maybe not all of you, but most all of you would raise your hand if I said, how many of you have experienced credit card fraud? That would be me. And that's when somebody has stolen your card, either physically stolen it or more likely just, virtually stolen it. And you start seeing purchases that you didn't make, or you get alerts from your bank about it. So definitely cost cost people tons of money just because of those kinds of crimes. I have to tell you a quick story. I heard from a friend of mine that one of the reasons warfare is so difficult to track is because it's hard to find the people responsible. And he was telling me a story of a coworker that had purchased some fancy coffee maker, for like half the normal price on eBay, and he got the coffee maker, and so he was happy. But what in the background had happened was that the person that was selling it on eBay never actually had the coffee maker. What they had done is they had stolen the credit card of someone else entirely and then ordered the coffee maker with that stolen card and had it sent directly to the person who was wanting to purchase it. And so you can kind of see how that web is weaved there, where um, the person that ordered it got their coffee maker, so they're not complaining. Now the person whose credit card information was stolen, they will eventually notice that, and yes, they'll have to you know call it fraud and get a new card and all of that. But none of that solves the problem of the person that initiated that whole transaction by stealing the card and then buying items and sending them directly to sellers and not ever even in being in possession of something stolen other than the card itself. So um, definitely difficult in a lot of cases to track these things. And so, how can you reduce the threat? There's a lot of information about that as well in this chapter. They talk about having confidentiality and privacy, authenticity, all of that for the website. So I'll let you read some more in your book. But uh, one thing that I want you to think about is, in a previous lesson, we talked about the Internet of Things and how, it's not just a computer or a laptop or your phone anymore. It's anything that really has a computer chip that's talking, on the internet, has that capability. So your Ring doorbell and all sorts of things, and your car that has the system, and how exponentially security has become a problem when you not only just attack computers, you attack really any of these things that are all tied together on the internet. So just something to kind of think about as you go through this chapter. The chapter also talks a lot about hackers and different kinds. Sometimes we call them these white hats and black hats, and it's kind of depending on their purpose and what they're trying to do. Are they trying to maliciously hack into something, or are they trying to do it to find the security kind of holes and flaws and inform companies? And if you want to take a look, I'll put the website out there about the DEF CON conference. It's in Vegas every year, and it's kind of like the premier conference for hackers. And of course, they build themselves as being the good guys. They're learning how to hack so that they can be hired by companies and have, you know, the ability to help them find where their security holes are. I got to go to DEF CON once. I'm not a hacker, but my research partner, Dr. Hancock, liked to think that he was, and so we got to go one year, and it was really kind of fun. So I'll put that website out there for you. And then just some more information in that chapter about tools to protect security, such as firewalls and antivirus software. You're probably really familiar with those. And, you know, being careful with passwords on Wi-Fi networks. Again, not just for yourself, but for your customers that you set up when you do e-commerce. And then kind of towards the end of the chapter there, it is talking about in terms of, you know, security, moving from just like passwords to more biometrics. And so I can't help but always think of the movie, you know, Minority Report, when I hear that. If you haven't watched Minority Report, you should go watch it. It's an older one, but it was fun. And, you know, where they're, you know, stealing people's eyes, and that's not fun. But to do the biometrics. And so it'd be interesting if we were in a live class here. I would do a poll. I could do a virtual poll even if we wanted sometime, about, you know, how do you feel on just simple things like on the iPhone. You know, you used to have to enter a password, and now then you had to do your thumb, and now you just look at it and it's the facial recognition, and just, you know, do we think that that's invasive, or do we think it's helpful that we're not trying to juggle all these passwords? I don't have any answers. I just think it's interesting to hear from people and what you think as well. And then that chapter kind of ends with talking about different ways to pay, e-commerce, you know, billing, and then a little bit about cryptocurrencies, which I have to admit kind of still baffles me, the whole mining Bitcoin thing. But really a rich chapter, and so I hope you enjoy it and get a lot out of it, and I will talk to you again soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.